Okay, hello and welcome everyone to New Moon Cycle 6 stream. So this is the second pool party stream, which is the format designed by Shadow, and I'm going to start by briefly explaining the format and the tournament. So this format is called pool party because it's designed so that there is a limited number of chips that player can select from and then build their folders. There are few rules that we will see affecting people's decision to make their folders, like there is a limit of 3 chips, of 3 per chip, and yeah, so there is a limit of 3 per chip, and that will affect how the choices people are taking. You can only select from the chips in the pool, obviously. Um, and yeah, I think these are the main rules. So people submitted their builds during the week, and then throughout the next week, the matches were played. Um, and yeah, so if you wish for the next cycle or next week, there will be standard BN format. And if you wish to join, you can head to the N1GP Discord and use exclamation new moon for more information on how to join up. And yeah, so going to head right into the first game, which will be playerzero vs Shadow. Okay, so if we start by looking at the build, um, playerzero is running. So if we start by the Navicast, oh yeah, so one of the main rules is that the Navicast is limited to 5x5 instead of the usual 6x6. So this limits a lot of what people can do, but also acts as a very good balancing option. Um, so if we look at the Navicast first, so I was running the usual high HP, low custom build with 1700 HP custom 1 and super armor, which is normal, nothing out of the ordinary. But if we look at Shadow's build, we can see that he has a bugged float shoes, which is very interesting. So if we look at this pool, one of the things that it had was bug fix, although it doesn't look like Shadow's running it in this build. Shadow is focusing on a bugged build, which in the 5x5 is much more difficult to build through. So he has less HP, 1400 HP, but that gives him advantage of being able to use the 3 statics that he has and the summon blacks that he has 2 of. Um, he also is running the Corn Fiesta PA, um, which we will see if that ends up being used. So Shadow's running custom 1, so being a, which is why he is regged and having 2 tags as his PA options, so that he can try to get them as soon as possible and get them together at least, so he doesn't look for a one piece at the end. While looking at my build, I'm running Greg and 2 tag Buster Ups. So I'm running Gregor. We're both playing Gregor, but I'm more focused on going with attack plus, um, while Shadow is more on chip damage. We both have Neovari and Number Ball, while I'm running Super Vulcan, which I think was the only Super Vulcan used in this week. Another things to note is that I have 2 reflectors, so that brings options for counters and more defense. Um, so this week had 2 recovery 200s, anti-navi and anti-damage, which we'll see that almost everyone decided to run, but also had fanfare, which was less commonly used option, but both players used here. 3 panel grabs from both sides as well, and grab revenge to make sure to regain area control. And yeah, looking at the navies, since both are running Gregard, they don't have dust, so to clear objects in general, they both have Dustman as one of the navi options. And yeah, I believe that's everything to go through. Let's head right into the match. Okay, so starting from my view, so this is a cracked field, which isn't ideal because of the lack of air shoes, and so this format has open setups, which means that both players can see what the other person's playing. So with that information at this start, I know that Shadow is running float shoes, so I know that he has the advantage with this field, which decides what I would want to do in my opening hand. Um, so going with charge cross without air shoes will limit the option to hit with the charge shot. So decide to go with Elec Man instead. Elec cross. Looks like going against a race. Ooh, miss on the Judge Man. So trying to limit movement as much as possible to leave that to avoid. Ooh, Corn Fiesta, that will do 2x damage. 2 hits, that's... Oh, well, that could have been enough for game right there, but it just did 2 hits. Ooh, that was really rough, having to throw away 3 chips just for, was it 120 damage, I think? That was really unfortunate. I think that is literally the worst RNG I've seen from Confiesta. That was very unlucky. But now at least it cleared the cracked panels because it creates grass field. So this will solve the movement issue. Ooh, starting with Judge Man. Into fire hits. That wasn't quite enough for anger though. And anti-navi. Let's see. Okay, we're still flashing, so that didn't do anything. Ooh, and the counter hit into number ball 97. What? That was a lot of damage. Static coming down, but that doesn't do nowhere near enough to make up for all that damage. And the 2 recoveries in hand already, so the advantage is still building up. Although there is still a bit of alphabet soup in the hand, so can't really take all the chips. Okay, deciding to play it safe and go with the recovery. Shadow going for a race. Ooh, Element Man, nice, getting the D-cross. Oh, still flashing from the charge shot, so missing out on the D-cross, which was unfortunate. Down to 1 HP, anti-damage coming down. Let's see if that flashing ended just at the right time for the Buster Shot to connect. And straight into game 2. That first Corn Fiesta was really more than enough to make all the difference. Missed that could have been game. That was very rough for Shadow. But heading on to game 2, we're starting with cubes, so neither players are using any aqua chips other than Element Man SP. So that option, both of them decide to go with fire crosses. Ooh, Dustman taking the objects, but then anti-navi, so that will be 500 damage for free for Shadow. Nice read on the anti-navi. Defense. Ooh, fire hit connecting. Shadow is charging the fire hit, which is one of the features that Chargeman has. Chargeman's with holding A, Chargeman is able to increase the damage. I think up to 100 per fire chip, but the charge is relatively slow, so not a lot of people go for it. It can be good as an option to break life aura though. Okay, going to Heat Beast. Anti-damage going down because now Shadow knows about the anti-navi, so it's nowhere near as effective. See, ooh, static, removing the anti-damage. Dustman connecting. Let's see if the Super Vulcan does anything. Ooh, does hit, but that was at the very end of custom, so very likely that Shadow will just step away or use defense to stop it. So he wouldn't be able to do much. The HP is at 92, the last digits are 92, so that gives good options for number ball. That could do a lot of damage, but we'll need to see if that connects. Okay, recovery coming down from Shadow. Ooh, anti-damage, that will deny the number ball. Yeah, so number ball having to just get thrown away basically at anti-damage, which is unfortunate. Some black coming down. Panel grab to limit movement. Ooh, the grab revenge. Shadow was on code with that. So now the anti-damage was lost for free as well. Okay, let's see, taking the recovery. There are a few options here. Trying to chip charge, taking recovery, grab revenge. Okay, so it looks like that's the play. Going to start by mashing chips. Ooh, the firehead does connect. Let's see if the Confiesta. Let's see how many hits this time. Okay, that's slightly better. It's still, I think, on the lower end, but it's way better than just getting 2 hits. Okay, Shadow is still at an HP advantage. I think both sides used recoveries, so the HP shouldn't be changing much. Okay, let's see. Ooh, barely missing on the race, man. Dustman coming down, so now Shadow doesn't have any option for moving Fanfare for free. Panel grab. Unfortunately, the panel's broke. Ooh, that denied the Fanfare. So what happened there is that movement, if an object is to be placed where a player is, then the placement gets stopped, and Shadow was just moving, so that denied the placement. Okay, Reflector bringing in 200 damage and protecting from some as well. Okay, so looks like L code or going for Neovari. Oh, looks like Neovari is the option now. Or okay, so it looks like going with Neovari. Neovari can do a lot of damage, especially with the double step, although there is no option for getting a 2x. Ooh, Judge Man missing, that's rough. Static miss as well. Element Man does connect with the freeze. Let's see if Neovari hits. Ooh, cross that does hit, and Judge Man to finish off the game. And that was game 1. Neovari at the end, they're doing a lot of damage to reduce all the HP, and the miss from Shadow having missed Judge Man. If that Judge Man did connect, that would have made all the difference. But yeah, those well played from both sides. Alright, heading into the next game, which will be Neryth vs Salad. Okay, so starting with the Navicasts again. So if you look at the Navicast, Neryth is he's running very interesting Navicast. So he's using Emotion Bug, and I guess that's the most interesting thing about the Navicast is that he's using Emotion Bug, which, especially in this format, you don't really see very often because of how much limitations you have for your Navicast. So just to run the Emotion Bug, he's forced to not run any HP, which can be very risky, especially with how much damage potential these folders can have and the lack of defense. While looking at Salad's Navicast, it looks like she's going for the max attack, max charge build, because she has Buster Pack, which gives attack 3, charge 3, and speed 3, and she's running attack +1 and charge +1 over that. So she has full attack, but she's playing in Falzar, so she's less likely to be going for the charge shots, which would be more typical from Gregar. Whereas, so if we look at the folder, she's running 3 Buster Ups, so that makes it likely, and Bug Fix, so it looks like she's going for the Buster Bug build, which can still be a lot of damage, especially in a format where there is no invis, there are no barriers, so it's very difficult to avoid all the damage from Buster Bug. While looking at Neryth's folder, so Neryth is running basically all the PAs. We see he's running Fire Burn, Time Bomb, and High Cannon PAs. He also has Fire Hit, so he has 4 PAs in his folder. And then other than that, he has 3 Buster Ups, which I imagine is for the extra damage and to remove anti-damage from the opponent, which he has as reg and 2 tags, and the recoveries with the 3 anti-damage, which is normal. He also has the Judgeman and Elementman as his Navi choices, while Salad has Dustman as well and Colonel, which Colonel is probably to deal with Tengu Cross. Another thing, Salad is also running Reflector 3, so we'll see if that comes in, trying to get counter with that, especially with how much damage. So one Reflector could make big difference with how much heavy damage that Neryth is running. Neryth is very heavy on chip damage, so just getting one of the PAs blocked can be very big for Salad, especially since both of them are running relatively low HP. Salad with 200 extra and Neryth at the base 1000. Well, yeah, I think that is mostly everything. Let's head right into the match. Okay, so it looks like they started with Cubes Field, which in this matchup will be very different because they're both playing Falzar, so it will involve seeing who goes for Dust or who manages to take it. Neryth already starting with two chips for one of his PAs, so we'll see if he manages to get any of the other ones. None of them are tagged or regged, so it might be difficult to try to get the third one, but we'll see. So one interesting thing to point out is that this match was played at like 4 AM or something, so with these folders it will be very interesting to see how the match goes. Okay, so Neryth decided to stay as baseman to keep his emotion bug. Ooh, barely missing out on the 2x for anti-damage. And the anti-damage getting procced. Let's see if Salad gets with the objects. Okay, she didn't manage to get anything. Looks like Neryth there took the recovery just to play it safe in case he gets hit and to allow him to move through his folder. And now he has 2 PA parts for 2 PAs. So we'll see what he decides to take into the next turn. So if he doesn't get anything that he can use to move through his folder, then it can be very rough for him going forward. And he sees that Salad is playing in Dust, so he doesn't want to take Time Bomb either. Ooh, the very last second, Salad stepping underneath the 2x Flash Bomb. So Neryth was still able to connect the Judgeman and getting an extra charge shot. Salad is still holding on to the cubes, and now 3 PAs in his hand, so he's going to be forced to throw away one of them. Okay, looks like he decided to go um for the high cannon. Ooh, nice, avoiding all of the machine gun hits. Still at full HP. So missing on the fire burn, and she is still in dust. So okay, looks like Neryth is deciding to throw away the time bomb parts, or at least try to get some damage out of them. And Salad did stay in dust, so that will be rough. She can just use back B to take them. Ooh, reflector and... Okay, fanfare coming down. So now I imagine that, yeah. So now Neryth dropped his time bomb, because if Salad wants to use back B to remove the time bomb, then she will be forced to remove the fanfare as well, which she wants on the field. And Neryth is still at full HP, so he's still not doing badly. He still has options. And it looks like he will be able to mostly avoid the machine gun thanks to the to his quick movement. Though he does have, yeah, ooh, he did get hit once. Let's see, ooh, missing the... And Solid wasn't able to use back B to take in the time bomb, so she was hit. And now Solid knew that he had anti-navi, because that didn't activate anti-damage. Interesting choice that Neryth decided to go for fire instead of ice, because going ice would have allowed him to prepare the panels and move freely through them. So that was an interesting option. Now he's locked in place, so he wouldn't have much to avoid all of the cubes that Salad has. Okay, panel grab coming down, and the two bus traps. Ooh, Neovari, let's see if he managed to get that, the double Neovari, or at least 2x. He did get 2x. Ah, missing the input. He should have just tried to go for a simple input, and then ending on a 2x again. Looks like he's going for the fire hit PA, and he is point blank, so unless Salad cross cancels, then he will be able to get the 2x on that for free. 2x will be enough damage to bring Salad to 1 HP. And yeah, the Neryth has been getting so many emotion bug procs as well. Nice, getting the 1 HP. Salad having the anti-damage. Now she's going to have, ooh, the recovery just in time. Ooh, at the very end. So what we saw there, that Neryth hit the anti-damage, so if nothing is done, the anti-damage will activate from Salad. But what she can do now is, because the anti-damage animation hasn't started, she can cross-cancel, and that will actually keep the anti-damage, which is something not a lot of people know about. We'll see if she decides to use the option, while Neryth is going for a second PA, which is wide bar. And yeah, it looks like Salad is deciding to keep the anti-damage. Ooh, Judgment coming down. Let's see if what else she has. Neryth will have to remove the... Ooh, the number ball hitting for 93. That is a lot of damage. Anti-damage going down 1 HP. And that was game. Salad ended up getting that game 1. Okay, starting game 2. Neryth has 2 pieces of PA again. So with all the PAs he has, he's bound to start with something. Looks like he's taking the recovery 200 early. Yeah, so again, he's expecting to take damage turn 1, and he doesn't want to camp on a chip that might not do anything, so he's opting to take it. Oh yeah, one thing that I didn't mention is that Salad has the shield, so we saw that coming into play there. Ooh! So because Neryth was mid-movement, that delayed the anti-damage activation, which Salad didn't expect, and ended up taking the 200 damage from the 2x anti-damage. Okay, so it looks like he's opting to throw away 2 of his PAs, just to try to go through his hand. Interesting. Okay, so it looks like he's going for something that he can more easily hit with. Let's see. Okay, he gets the elect, so using this you'll limit the movement. Ooh, I'm cannon, though that will destroy the fanfare. Neovar, let's see if Salad managed to get that. Nice. Ooh, the counter hit, nice. Though now Salad has anger, so we'll see if she managed to get something out of it. Now Neryth getting the second, the last parts to both PAs, which unfortunately can't do much with. Okay, looks like Salad decided to stay as baseman. Ooh, Reflector barely missing. That was very close on getting counter hit, which would have been a lot of damage. Dustman coming down, this will limit Neryth's movement with all the cracked panels. And he still doesn't have grab revenge or any way to regain his area like Judgman, so okay, he's opting to take the panel grabs and the recovery. Okay, let's see. He's making it look like he's preparing for a back row object, and so stepping under the flash bomb, which will negate it. And 2 recoveries coming down at the very end for Salad. Neryth does have the 80 time, the 80 number ball, but unfortunately he doesn't have any way to line it up. So one thing is that it goes overhauls, but even then it doesn't look like he has much, so it's going. Ooh, that was very close. He did get the 2x, nice. Does a lot of damage. Grab revenge from Salad coming down. Looks like she didn't have anything else for that turn. And ending again with the 2x. Let's see what Neryth decides to take this time. So it looks like he's starting with the anti-damage to play it safe at the start. He does have the Neovari option. If he can get the supersonic beam, then that could bring Salad to 1 HP. Okay, so he's just smashing the anti-damage to get the 2x on that. Ooh, machine gun. He almost avoided that. Time bomb coming down though. Salad does have... Ooh, barely missing out on the shield, so she wasn't able to protect herself. And using... Okay, so she used that too early because she knew there wasn't enough time for flashing to end. So she just opted to get out the buster up at the very end. Okay, looks like Neryth is going again for individual pieces, but this time he's going for Beast Out. He wants to try to finish off the game. Salad's going with Beast Out as well. Anti-damage or anti-navi coming down. Judgment looks like it was anti-damage. So now this will set up Salad so that 1 buster shot will be enough, and that was easily confirmed. Going into game 3. This has been a very close game. Okay. Ooh, starting on a grass field. So if Neryth is able to get any one of his fire PAs, that could be a lot of damage coming out from one turn. It could be enough for almost game, I think, with fire burn. Okay, starting with anti-navi. Ooh, Salad had the judgment ready as TFC, and now she'd probably be able to find out that this was anti-damage. Ooh, didn't get any buster procs. Nice, using shield. And Neryth stepped on the poison panels, tried to get the high damage number ball, but unfortunately ended up missing. It was 98 though, that was very close to max damage. Okay, so he's going for the time bomb. Ooh, nice, managed to get it at the back row as well. Let's see if Sal's able to. Nah, slightly too late. And Neryth has been doing very well in avoiding the charge shots from Salad. Ooh, and we see Fireburn 3 coming out. Looks like Neryth deciding to go for that. Let's see how much he's able to get out, and this will crack panels as well, so it will also limit Salah's movement. So if he manages to get that out, then that could be enough for game in this turn. Ooh. 2x. Okay, that was close. Salad wasn't on grass, so she barely avoided the 3x damage. She still has 100 HP. Nice. Neryth getting both recoveries in one turn, so this will be very big for him. It looks like he's going for the recoveries first, just smashing them out to get as much HP as possible. See what Salah's decided to cross. Ooh, what she can do now is go for Tomahawk cross. Okay, looks like she went for Tengu. So Tomahawk had the charge egg guaranteed, but Tengu also has good option. She did end up missing. And recovery is coming down from Neryth. Ooh, getting one hit I think, and now Neryth ending on 2x again. Let's see if he's going to... Okay, looks like he's starting with the panel grab, so he wants to go for the back row time bomb. Or... going for the 2x, it looks like, yeah. Okay, so he's playing it even safer and going... or maybe not. Just going through the options, seeing what he can. Yeah, so he is in the end going with the 2x anti-damage, playing it safe. Salad doesn't have anything to TFC with. Panel grab coming down. Ooh, machine gun though. The time bomb will hit. She didn't manage to take that back. Nice, connecting with... Ooh, Fireburn missing. 20 HP. And now she has the option for Beast Over. Is she going to go for that? She already used the recoveries. Looks like Neryth is going for the safer play, taking more chips, though he can't beast out. And this he would have wanted to go into beast out so he can try to get in buster shots to finish the game off. Looks like he's going with Tomahawk. I don't think we've seen Salad use Element Man though. That could be a big mistake. Okay, she did go into beast over, so if Neryth is able to survive, that will make it very likely he will go into and win the match. Ooh, using time bomb. I think that was too early though. Yeah. Ideally he would have wanted to time that out for it to go off on the start of next turn. Okay, so he has the anti-damage, so he has a bit of safety going into the turn. Okay, he is going for Newberry and Beast out. And the buster shots finishing off the game, and that is the match. Ooh, that was quite the game, getting both comebacks, and that was very close game as well. Getting all the PAs. It looks like Neryth's folder, with all the things he has going on for it, he managed to make it work and get the game from Salad. It was very well played. Alright, heading into our next game, which will be playerzero vs Symes. Okay, so this is the first match we see from Symes this stream. So if we start with going through his build, so he's running something that we haven't seen so far, which is running Tango instead of the usual HP. And looking at his Navi cost, that makes sense because Tango gives 300 HP recovery and barrier 100. So for that space, it's worth it more than running the HP 300 that he would be able to run. But his Navicus is also allowing him to run bugged float shoes, which was similar to what Shadow was playing with, but the difference is that Symes is playing with bug fix instead. So he's going for trying to get the early summon blacks and then bug fix afterwards to avoid locking himself in panels. We see Symes also running the 3 Buster Ups, which is, it looks like almost everyone is running in this week. And one interesting that he has 3 Moonblade, which you don't see that often. It looks like he's running it just as Splash. He doesn't have anything else to go with it. And although he does have the 2 panel grabs, so he will try to set up with that. And yeah, both players are playing Gregar. So one problem with running Tango is that for the effect to activate, you need to be outside of stats chain. So if you are paralyzed, frozen, bubbled, or yeah, I think these are the statuses, then it doesn't activate. So you need to be freed from them. So if your opponent's able to get your HP low enough and then put you on paralysis before Tango activates, then that could finish the game. Symes is also running Neo variant Number Ball, which I believe everyone else is running, and 3 anti-damage recoveries, Grab Revenge, which is the base that everyone has been going for. Symes also running 2 Amp Cannons though, which we haven't seen so far, so he's going for more easy splash damage, trying to get that, or if he wants to, he can chip charge that as an option as well, or go into Beast Out and then with Beast Jump try to get the damage with that. What else is there? And yeah, so both of them, they don't have all that many options to decross each other. Although player 0 is running the high boomer, so slightly more freedom there, but it wouldn't make that much of a difference. Well, let's head right into game 3. Okay, so starting with perma holes. So these are holes that will never be repaired, and you can't use panel or area grabs over them. So they tend to stop a lot of the plays, but with this field and this pool, I don't think it will be that much of an effect other than limiting movement. Okay, so both opting to go with Erase, Buster Ups coming down. So now limiting movements coming down, so this machine gun should be able to hit multiple times. Symes starting with the blind. Ooh, missing the reflector. Fanfare coming down though. Okay, and then the 2 recoveries, the 2 Buster Ups, so that's all of them will be coming out. And so this field is the optimal position for Amboomer to hit. And because of the broken panel in the middle now, Symes doesn't have any way of getting out. Although the perma holes is good for Symes because that gives him an option to use Summon Blacks. Ooh, so that Reflector 3 protecting from the Flash Bomb, and then Symes missing on the Reflector. So this is already a lot of HP, 1000 HP lead for player 0. And Symes is still locked in place, so he could be getting all the fire hits. Okay, looks like he's deciding to go for recoveries and Beast Out. Ooh, missing out on the Erase Money X. Dustman does connect, and that will crack the panel. But because of the float shoes that Symes is running, that wouldn't be as much of an issue. Fanfare coming down, although Summon Black TFC'd nice, getting in that damage. And then let's see, okay, getting in, Symes doesn't have attack max, so he wasn't quite able to destroy Fanfare. And he stepped away because he didn't want to get bait into position for another attack to come in. Okay, so it looks like player 0 is deciding to cross and go for the plus 50 with Element Man coming down. Let's see which option. Ooh, going for so that will break the panels, which will lock Symes in place, but also protect the fanfare. Anti-damage going out, Judgment ends up missing. Ooh, Dustman does connect, and that will take the fanfare as well, which can be a waste, but that is 200 damage, especially with how low HP Symes will. Ooh, counter hit on the Neon Vari, denying that. That was unfortunate. And now Symes is paralyzed, so he's going to have to cross cancel, which is the only way he gets his Tango to get off. Okay, looks like going for Beast out, trying to go. Ooh, he didn't cross cancel. See if he has enough time to survive. Looks like Judgment's coming down, and that will be enough for game. Okay, going into game 3. Ooh, starting with all 3 buster ups already. This will reduce the folder size, so makes finding the other chips easier. And looks like player 0 is deciding to go with Charge Cross to try to get the +1 custom every turn. And ending with the panel grab as well. Let's see, so Symes also has direct buster up, so expecting that to come. But looks like Symes opted to go for Race Cross instead. Ooh, Flash Bomb coming down, gets destroyed straight away. Band Square, let's see if that connects. Ooh, barely missing out. And Cannon missing as well. Okay, so it looks like what player 0 is trying to go for is to put a back row object or trying to lock Symes in place. Ooh, Symes is going for Slash, so he might have Grab Revenge. Ooh, Moonblade coming out, getting the counter hit as well. That was very nice, which applied Buster Bug for free. Fanfare coming out at the last second, and then ooh, counter hit from the M-Boomer, which also protected the fanfare. Symes wasn't running any Dustman, so he isn't able to remove that for free. He's going to have to use a charge shot or something to hit it with. You'll see what he decides to go for. Okay, so going into a leg, trying to get damage with the M-Boomer. Unfortunately, although Dustman as a Navi is breaking and the cross does breaking damage, the chip itself doesn't do breaking, it does pseudo breaking, so that wouldn't decross Slash anyway. But Symes decided to cross out and go into Fire, into Hitman. Hitman gets +1 attack, which usually in normal BN people are running attack max, so that doesn't come into play as much, but in this case it does. Okay, anti-damage connecting, nice, and getting that with the reflector as well. Okay, Symes still locked in place. Not many options going into this turn, so could take the number ball and hope to take enough damage, and even at 30 it's still not bad damage, doing 30 times 4, so that's not that bad from one chip. Ooh, Grab Revenge coming down, and then Dustman. So this will make getting charge shots more difficult, and Panel Grab coming down from Symes as well. See what he has as a response. Flash Bomb coming out. Let's see. Ooh, Neovari does connect, and number ball was at 93, but it does miss. And Symes still isn't in the HP to get Tango to activate, though we did see at the very end there that he used M Cannon, I believe. So we'll see how that information is going to be played into next turn. And we'll see if Symes decides to cross cancel, which will throw that away. So debating between going for recovery or going for... Okay, so it looks like recovery is the option and grab revenge. Okay, Symes is keeping his arm cannon and... Ooh, it does connect, nice. That was missed movement. Anti-damage, anti-navi activating, so that will trigger the anti-damage. And then anti-damage activating straight away. Recovery, both sides going to the recovery. Ooh, summon black does connect, but that will activate on the grab revenge. Oh nice, the anti-damage had enough time to actually hit. So the HP game is very similar. Ooh, we'll see if the Super Vulcan connects. So we'll see if player 0 decides to chip charge that or go for the normal damage. It would get plus 30. So one thing is that Erase Cross in base form gets paralysis over normal chips, while in Beast Out you chip charge that instead, so you can't get the plus 30 and paralysis from that. Element Man, ooh, anti-damage does come down. Ooh, that was anti-navi, nice. We'll see which option he decides to go for. Did go for a leg. So this could make the fire burn confirmed. Anti-damage going to 200. Looks like player 0 is chip charging the Super Vulcan. Ooh, ends up very badly missing and stepping into the fire, the chip charge from Symes. That wasn't going very well at all, taking a lot of damage. Player 0 is going to have to go for the safer option, going with the recovery 200 and the reflect, trying to survive for a bit longer to get all that damage in. Symes is staying in hit cross. See if the reflector does connect. Ooh, fanfare coming down from Symes. There was barely enough time for that to be destroyed, and reflector didn't do anything that turn. Symes' HP is still over about 200 over player 0, but that is still very close. 2 Dolph Thunders could make the difference. Looks like that is the option. Player 0 is going for Dolph Thunder and Dustman. Unfortunately, there's no elect, so these Dolph Thunders don't get the plus 50s anymore. We'll see if they do connect though. Could still be enough. Ooh, some black coming down. That will bring player 0 down to 1 HP. Tango does proc now and gets all the recovery, so the difference, and yeah, Buster Shots finish off the game. Heading into game 3. See, so it looks like player 0 has few options to go for. Can go for the machine gun expecting anti-damage, or like with the Dolph Thunder. Looks like Dolph Thunder is the option. So one interesting thing is that this reflector can be A charged by Elecross, so it can be made to do paralysis even if it doesn't get counter hit. So we'll see if player 0 decides to go for that one. Looks like going for... Ooh, missing. And okay, so Dustman does connect, but unfortunately both reflector and the Dolph Thunder do miss. Okay, the other 2 Buster Ups coming into play, and the number ball already. We'll see if... So one option player 0 can go for is Judge Man, because unless Symes cross cancels, he's stuck in charge shot animation. So Judge Man into number ball can be a lot of damage. It does connect, but we'll see if player 0 decides to go for that. Okay, looks like that is the play, and Symes does cross cancel, so we'll see if Judge Man connects. Ooh, stepping up, trying to get something at the start of turn is very difficult because holding movement is about 7 frames for input. The number ball does connect barely before the train arrow lands, so that was still at 80 damage. Ooh, missing the second train arrow. I mean, at the very end of turn, we'll see if the reflector is. Let's see if that's going to work. Is Symes going to get? So there's going to be beast jump anyway. So if Symes doesn't cross cancel, then this could be very bad for Symes, getting counter hit and 200 damage from the reflector. Looks like Symes is keeping that, and the counter hit does land, bringing Symes to 22 HP. The Tango does kick in, giving 300 back. And the recovery coming down as well, so Symes is still in the game. See if it does connect. And the second panel grab, see if back row object comes down. Ooh, anti-damage wasn't used at the end of turn. Is player 0 going to decide to keep that or go with the new hand? I think going with the new hand is probably the better play, because player 0 has almost 500 extra HP, so trying to keep that lead and going more offensively with it might be the better play. Symes still has the barrier 100 though, so the grab revenge isn't quite enough damage to remove that. Recovery comes down. Let's see if the charge shot is able to remove. Ooh, summon black coming from Symes, nice. Do 260 damage. Charge shot does remove that, and then the element man will remove the anti-damage, so Symes isn't able to get in beast charge. The flash bomb at the end of turn is coming down, so we'll see if anything is used to try to stop that, or is that going to connect. Okay, looks like player 0 is going for starting with Raceman. That does miss, which is unfortunate, though there will be anti-damage there to block the flash bomb. Yeah. Ooh, fanfare, but then using Dustman a bit too early, missing out on removing the fanfare for free or potentially 200 damage. Moonblade coming out from Symes, using a charge to make that go through the field, and the other one does connect. This will also give HP back, so we'll need to see if that ends up making any difference. It's quite low, but it's still something to watch out for. Okay, there are a few options there, going machine gun, Neovari, or the flash bomb. Neovari could be enough to make that game. Okay, looks like that is the option, and staying in Electros. Going into slash would give 70 extra damage, but that could give it away. Ooh, Symes using the anti-damage, so player 0 is going to have to remove the anti-damage before trying to go for Neovari. Band square coming down. Ooh, that misses again. Let's see if the Neovari does connect. TFCing anti-damage, ends up missing though. All of these time freeze chips, yeah, all of the time freeze chips making the input much more difficult to connect, and Symes sacrificing his anti-damage to stop the flash bomb from landing. The game is still very close, less than HP difference, less than 100. Ooh, reflector coming down, but it was stopped by the anti-damage. Number ball 92, that will reduce it by 10, but that is still a lot of damage coming down. Let's see if the Door Thunder does connect. It does hit. Element Man SP, ooh, decides not to TFC, and wasn't flashing as well, so see the 100 damage coming in, though there is recovery, so there is still a chance to get that back. Looks like that is the option player 0 is going for, trying to play it safe and going with the recovery. There is the option to go into hit cross, trying to get the extra damage from a charge shot. We'll see if that is the play though. Staying in Elect could give the option of going into Super Volcan next turn, trying to get the paralysis on that and hoping that would be enough to finish the game. debating crossing or not. Okay, looks like player zero decided to stay in like, and that looks like might have been the correct play, managing to get a free charge shot. Ooh, charge shots coming out from both sides, 1 HP from both of them. And now going into beast out, I think Symes already went into beast out, so now Symes has the option of going into beast over. We'll see though if Symes has any chips left, or if the beast over AI is able to finish off the game. Okay, beast over coming out, let's see. This is Moonblade coming out very quickly, and with the 1 HP, Symes managing to get a very close comeback from, I think Symes went down to 222 HP at some point, and getting back into game. That was very well played from Symes. So there how Tango almost cost Symes the games with it not activating quickly enough. That was very well played, Symes, going with what he had and then getting the comeback through that. That was a good game. GG's to both sides. Alright, heading into the next game, which will be Shadow vs Salad. So we've seen both players already play, so we have an idea of both of them, what they want to play. So the things to watch out for is that both players are running multiple machine guns. So Salad running that in E code, while Shadow in S code with static. So we'll see if that ends up coming into play. Salad is playing Phasar, so she could go into Dust, but she has shield as well, so she doesn't necessarily want to go into Dust. So she will see that Shadow is playing all these machine guns and try to keep that in mind. Both of them are running a lot of the counter crosses for the other side. So Shadow's running Fire Hit, running Summon Blacks, whereas Salad has the Element Man, Colonel. So both of them have options to try to decross, both of them have options to try to limit the opponent's movement. And yeah, both of them are running the usual 3 Buster Ups. I mean, Shadow isn't running the 3 Buster Ups. I think Shadow is the only one actually not running 3 Buster Ups. Though both of them are running recoveries, anti-damage, anti-navi, and all of that stuff. So yeah, we'll see how that ends up playing out in game. Okay, looks like starting with the cube field, and Shadow is starting with Eraseman, but also he has machine guns. Looks like he's opting to go with Eraseman to start with, to try to get the D-Cross on Salad if she goes into Dust Cross, which looks like she isn't going into, which is interesting. So she's playing it safe, trying to avoid the D-Cross. Ooh, Shadow missing out on the Eraseman. We'll see if... So Salad's waiting for its timeout, because that will be the current position to hit. Okay, Shadow's breaking the cube. We'll see. Ooh, getting in a charge at the very end, but that leaves Salad flashing, so... Ooh, going with Neovari already. That is very interesting. Looks like because he's taking panel grab as well, Shadow is going to try to go for the double life sword. We'll see if he manages to connect. One option he could go for is to try to go for slash cross, and then with holding A that will make the Neovari hits go throughout the field. But that will give away going into Neovari. Ooh, number ball coming down 96, doing a lot of damage, and Salad is going with Spout to get the D-Cross, which he managed to get. See if Shadow is able to remove Salad's anti-damage, although that could be anti-navi, he still doesn't quite know. Yeah, he end up not using his Neovaris, and Salad doesn't know that, so she might be reluctant going into Tengu Cross, especially seeing that Shadow is running multiple Summon Blacks. Okay, Shadow's going into Elec Cross, and I don't think Salad's running any Emboomer, so the only thing he needs to worry about there is Element Man, which with the broken panels, wouldn't be able to connect. Ooh, machine gun didn't get all that many hits. Let's see if Shadow's able to get a D-cross. Doesn't look like it, though he did manage to land with the fire hit. Ooh, looks like he's going for Confiesta PA. See if that connects. Depending on his RNG, that could be a lot of damage or none at all, basically, from how we saw in game 1. We'll see if luck is on Shadow's side. He could also completely miss, that is also an option. So we'll see if he managed to land. Confessor, it does connect. Let's see how many hits. Ooh, that was a lot of damage. I think that did 400 damage, so that was very good. But now Salad has an opening into the back row, so she's able to use one panel grab and place fanfare. Shadow isn't able to get anything because of the broken panels. He isn't able to hit her. He might decide to go into Erase Cross to give the option for Erase Beast. But we'll see if he... Okay, so he is staying in a like... Anti-damage coming down. Ooh, machine gun does get the counter hit as well, nice. Dustman, this will bring Salad down to 1 HP. We'll see if he managed to get the last hit. Neovari, that did activate, so that will do 2x damage. That will bring Shadow down to 1 HP. Panel grab coming down. See who's able to get that final hit. Ooh, at the very last second. Salad was expecting Shadow to step up, so she prepared the anti-dam, the panel grab, but Shadow didn't do that movement and ended up finishing the game with a buster shot. They both had buster bugs, so that was very lucky to get the hit straight away. And looks like Shadow is starting with Confiesta turn 1 again. See if Salad has any defense prepared for that. Okay, she decided to stay in base, man. Ooh, starting with blind, so Shadow isn't able to connect his hits. Ooh, I think he actually ended up missing. Yeah, that didn't hit. If he was able to center himself, then that would have at least gotten some hits. That completely missed because of the blind. So the blind he has was because of this color bug that he has. He had more than 4 colors in his Navicast, which gives him 1 of 4 random statuses. And he ended up with blind, which ended up costing him a lot of damage. Ooh, so now he knows that Salad is playing anti-Navi. He did end up activating it, and he wasn't flashing, so he took that damage. Okay, he did connect with the Summon Black though, that's 260 damage. Ooh, Reflector, and he still hit into that one. Getting the 2x with Judge Man, and Shadow wasn't able to mash fast enough, so he's still paralyzed, so he would have to cross cancel if he wants to avoid getting hit by something as soon as the turn starts. Which looks like he is going into Beast Out. But I'm not sure if that is the correct option, because with static, Beast Jump makes it less likely to hit. We'll see if it does connect. Ooh, ends up missing the first static. Second one does get few hits in, so that's not bad. And he Beast Charge. Ooh, didn't get in time. Yeah, so one of the things, the Reflector has very different timing compared to the Navicast Shield or Reflect. So people end up using their attacks too early and getting themselves counter hit because they're not used to the timing for Reflector 3. Which Reflector 3 is actually one of the chips that I think is getting underused. I think it has a lot of potential for getting counter hits. Or even just like, even if you don't get counter hit with, if you can hit the opponent with it, then you're denying your opponent's attack and getting 200 for free. So it can be a big swing. Ooh, Race Mani X coming down as soon as the turn starts, getting the free D cross. Chip charging, let's see if that does hit. Ooh, anti-damage coming down. Looks like that might have been a missed TFC. Shadow used his panel grab. Ooh, anti-damage going off to a buster shot. Barely avoiding the firehead, the machine gun will do the work with removing the anti-damage. Okay, looks like Shadow's trying to limit Salah's movement and then go with the machine gun to remove the trap she has on. He knows that's anti-damage because Anti-Nav was activated earlier in the game. Okay, Salad's going for Beast out as well, so that will make proc panels less of an issue. Ooh, machine gun. Number ball coming down with 1 HP. If Salad waited slightly, she could have gotten a lot more damage out of that one. Static ends up missing because of Beast Jump. Ooh, the second Beast Jump does connect. And now Salad's going down 69 HP, so about 100 HP difference. But Shadow does have the recovery prepared, so he's going to get back some HP. I don't think we've seen recoveries from Salad, so it's about time she has them in hand as well. So the game might still be going on for a bit, and Salad already used Dust Cross, so Shadow is able to take Fanfare freely. Ooh, those Shadow is, yeah, Salad is going for Element Man, going early, while Shadow is still flashing. I'm not sure if I agree with this placement, because that will be in the position to be hit with Charge A from Salad. Ooh, looks like she isn't going for that though. She's going for normal buster shots. Though Shadow ends up missing Judge Man. At least the Bugs ends up proccing the anti-damage, which does hit Shadow, which was missed movement. The game is still very close, less than 100 HP difference. Ooh, going with Neovari, we'll see if that ends up making it game. I'm really liking all the Neovari plays from everyone. We already saw Salad use that to basically finish off a game, getting that with the 2x. But looks like Shadow decided to stay in Charge Cross, so that will lock him in at least until the Charge Man animation ends. So we'll see if that ends up working out for him. Ooh, Salad getting the first recovery. Colonel, number ball does hit. So now this will activate Shadow's anti-damage, but Salad's down to 120 HP. If Neovari does hit, then that could be game. Ooh, missing the input and being in the position for the A charge for Salad to hit, and that was enough for game. And it was in a position to hit twice as well, so that brought Shadow down to 1 HP and finished it off. And it looks like Shadow is starting again with his PA, but it looks like he's playing it safer and deciding to not go with that. He wants to make sure that he isn't starting with blind again, and he wants time to make to try to land in some charge shots with the panels on grass. Looks like he didn't start with anything, so that was a missed starting with green invis. Started going for Elec, so that will limit Shadow's movement. Nice, getting maximum hits with static. Ooh, losing the anti-damage early to a buster shot, that is always unfortunate. And it looks like he's going with it 10-2. We'll see if Salad has anti-damage or any defense. Salad could still go for the shield Navicos, and that could block the whole thing, so... Ooh, gets hit. Neovari, nice, does get the double life sword in this area. Shadow wasn't able to step back from that. And he does get Confiesta. Ooh, he does get decent number of hits. And that doesn't cause flashing, so if he has anything to go into combo next turn, he can still go with that. And he does have Z code, so he can go for the 2 summon blacks. Although it looks like he isn't opting for that, he's playing it safer, going with panel grabs instead, trying to limit Salad's movement. Okay, so it's going for Spout Cross. Let's see if she managed to get the D Cross. Anti-damage coming down, or could be anti-Navi. Fanfare, anti-damage coming down from Shadow. So this Fanfare could be used to bait Shadow. Let's see if a back row object does connect. Ooh, Salad sees that coming and steps in place to avoid that. And now Shadow is locked in place, so that is guaranteed D Cross. Float Shoes ends up locking him in place. Ooh. Oh wow, that was very bad mismovement from from Salad, ending up throwing away her fanfare for no reason. Shadow is still blocked in that panel. He doesn't have any way of getting air shoes. Unlike Falzar, he doesn't have an option to cross or go into Beast Out, which would give him air shoes. So he's just stuck there waiting for the panel behind him to be fixed. We'll see what Salad ends up going with that. Okay, she went into Tengu, so it looks like she's going for Tengu charge shots. Recovery coming down. Tengu charge shots are one of the highest DPS in the game. Ooh, anti-damage activating, Salad stepping too early. Ooh, getting one more hit for free. That was missed movement from Shadow. But now he has the summon blacks. If he gets the first one with 2x, that will bring Salad down to 1 HP. So that could still be enough. I think Shadow should change the order. I believe starting with the summon black first to try to get Salad to 1 HP, then using the grab revenge. Ooh, does he have enough time? That panel, okay, wasn't fixed. Did he get her before flashing? He did. She's down to 1 HP, but he started flashing earlier. He does get the burn square, and that does connect, just smashing that for the confirmed position, and that will be the match. That was a very close match. Shadow barely losing that game. I believe if Shadow just changed the order slightly, he would have gotten Salad while she was still flashing. Or at least use that as TFC for the fire ban. So that was still very close either way, even with the different order. Wasn't guaranteed. That was a very good game. Alright, heading into the next game, which will be... oh, that's the wrong setup. Which will be Salad vs playerzero. So seeing Salad going again. Okay, so if we look, we've seen both players play, so it will be mostly about seeing how the matchup plays. So Salad is running 500 less HP compared to playerzero. So this HP difference, we'll see how that ends up playing in. But Salad also has shield, which is very strong against the Gregar charge shots. So in perfect conditions, Salad would be able to use the on reaction and react to the charge shots from Gregar and basically shield all of them. And she does also have the reflector 3, so that could be an option to go for counter hits for free as well. While looking at playerzero setup, playerzero does have 2 reflector 3s. He has the high HP, the recovery, so this will be a very much uphill battle for Salad to try to get in. But so one thing to note before the game starts is that while our recordings, they don't show the lag conditions that might have been played. Unfortunately, this game had quite a bit of lag when it was played, which sometimes does happen, although it doesn't happen very often, and it depends on the connection distance between the players. So Salad and playerzero have usually less than ideal connection, to say the least. So this might come into play with the decisions that Salad might take. So she might decide to play with the safer options and opt out of going with shield, or she might end up missing some of her chips like fire burn or going for shields. But yeah, I believe that's everything. Let's head right into the game. Going to the second to last game for the stream. Okay, so looks like starting with Baldur's Field and Grass. Salad is going for the fire burn turn 1, which will crack the panels. playerzero isn't running any shoes options, so that will cause movement limitations. Ooh, Salad was able to use shield to protect from... ooh, getting the counter hit, nice. So Salad was able to protect from the Dull Thunder, but the flash bomb does connect, and then at the very end there, using the charge shots too early again, similar to what happened to Shadow, losing out on the timing and using it charge shot too early, giving it 2x for free for Salad. Let's see if she decides to stay as baseman or go with Dust. So she sees that player 0 is running one machine gun and Erase Man, and she is starting with the anti-Navi. So that gives her option both for Dust Man and Erase Man. So she can play more, she can play with Dust Cross or deciding to stay with Baseman, keeping shield again. Ooh, getting trapped behind the boulder, that could be big, so just going in for charge shots. She does get hit by the beast charge, which was on grass, so that did 2x damage, which gives Salad the anger status, which she does have something to use out of, but she is opting to keep her hand for the next turn. So she's going to be starting with anti-Navi. Ooh, going into race beast. Reflector does come down, expecting something from Salad. So it's just going to use. Okay, it looks like panel grabs are coming down with the back row object fanfare is going to be put in play. See, player 0. Okay, grab revenge coming out a bit too late, unfortunately. We'll see if. Oh, looks like nothing is coming out. Was player 0 chip charging or just waiting for the perfect time for something to hit? Dustman will be a lot of damage if it does connect. 3 objects will mean 600 extra damage. And it looks like Salad is going for that option, and it also works very well as a TFC option. So if player 0 goes for Dustman himself, Salad is able to use that as TFC and getting the objects for herself. Though she does have anti-Navi up, so she needs to watch out for that. That might be used to overwrite. Ooh, she barely missed out on getting the 2x, but anti-damage coming out at the very end, protecting from that, and panel grab coming down. So now player 0 knows Salad is running anti-Navi. Let's see if that comes. Colonel, anti-Navi using trap, which caused Dustman, which misses. Ooh, reflector, but that was a bit too early, so Salad was able to avoid taking 200 damage and still landing the charge shot. Salad does have Buster Bug, so we're seeing that come into play, doing a lot of damage. Buster Bug is something more commonly seen in normal BN or even mod cards, but in this format, just the perfect pull, which had both Buster Ups and Bug Fix, allowing for builds like this to work. Which is one of the things I really like about this format, that you always have to look at what options you have, compared to normal BN where you can have too many options. Ooh, barely trying to mash out number ball, which ends up missing. But now Salad knows end code's coming, so Neovari could be coming soon. So she is holding on to the anti-damage. Nothing coming out. Anti-damage from player 0. Both sides bringing the anti-damage. But Salad does have machine gun, which he ends up catching with the charge shots. And she is opting to keep the rest of her hand. She is stuck in animation though, but anti-damage does protect her, so the only thing that would stop that is either a machine gun or Race Mani X. We'll see if either of those do come out. Ooh, machine gun coming down, so the anti-damage is lost, and it looks like Salad's deciding not to TFC, waiting for the movement on grass. Or for the timeout position for the fireband. Ooh, nice. Looks like she managed to get a hit, and with the fireband just smashing out, getting confirmed hit. Okay, she's going with bug fix and buster ups. I believe that is all the buster ups coming down from Salad, so she now is able to, she's going to be able to use buster bug for maximum potential. Ooh, looks like she's debating going into beast out, so going into beast out will deny her from using buster shots or the extra attack she has, because beast buster is limited to attack 5. Okay, she's staying in basement. Buster up coming down, panel grab. Ooh, element man, anti-damage comes down, so let's see. Player 0 goes for a lick, which will lock Salad in place. See Dull Thunder coming out doing 300 damage. 200 damage. Ooh, panel does get big, though the high boomer does connect, and another charge shot connects. Salad's taking a lot of damage, though she is going now for the fire burns, going with Beast out, trying to get the confirmed hits. That will be enough damage to bring player 0 down to 1 HP if they do connect. Or she's deciding between that or playing it safer, going with the recovery and grab revenge. We'll see which one she opts to go for. She's looking at the field, seeing okay, she is going with the safer play with recovery. Ooh, grab revenge coming down. See what player 0 has. He isn't chip charging. Ooh, Super Vulcan ends up completely missing. And yeah, it looks like she did interrupt the charge on that. And she has almost the perfect HP for Number Ball, though it looks like she's going with the Judgment first to try to confirm it, but that is risky. Let's see if she hits with the new Vary. Ooh, she did get the input, but Erase Man will interrupt, will remove the anti-damage, but that wouldn't be a factor, and that will bring down 1 HP and finish it with game. Neo Vary again, very good showing from Salad, getting all the Neo Vary hits. Okay, starting with 2 panel grabs and the fanfare. We'll see if she managed to get the back row object again. Player 0 deciding to go for a lick with turn 1, both going with Buster Up. Ooh, Dustman early. So she's going to have the option for back row. Though anti-damage does get spent, and ooh, the first panel grab is denied, so now she no longer has the option. The second Dull Thunder missing. She's waiting until the very end to drop that fanfare to deny player 0 from destroying it for as long as possible. And now she is able to go into the turn, try to bait player 0 into destroying it and landing other attacks, though it doesn't really look like she has much of an option to go with that. She is getting the early bug fix and the second Buster Up, so she is setting up for Buster Bug procs. And she's deciding to keep the panel grab, and she wants to go for a decross as well, so we'll see if that does hit. Fanfare is destroyed, but decross does land. That was a lot of damage, and the number bar for 10 is going to miss. So we'll see if ooh, nice, Reflector 3 does deal 200 damage, though no counter hit. Yeah, I'm also really surprised that this didn't count as a counter hit. It looks like Tomahawk might be the only one that doesn't get counter hit by Reflector with a charge shot, so that's very interesting to see. Okay, player 0 is deciding to go for a race, using the grab revenge to gain more area, so that makes avoiding the machine gun more easy. Ooh, going for grass, so that means Salad's trying to set up for the fire burns. First one misses, let's see if the second one does connect. Second one does with the broken panels. Now she's able to limit player 0's movement by a lot. Yeah, I mean, charge and dust, they both have braking or pseudo braking for charge cross, so but outside of these two, Tomahawk might be the only one that doesn't get countered. And ground, yeah. I mean, other than the breaking ones, which wouldn't get countered inherently by it. Okay, so it looks like Salad is going for Neovary. She does have Colonel, but that will miss because of the panel grab. Let's see. She does have the Neovary ready. Is she going for the Sonic Beam or the double life sword? Ooh, She was trying to go for the double life sword, but she ended up missing, which is unfortunate. She could have gone for the safer option with the supersonic beam, but fortunately she ended up getting lagged out and going with the double life sword. And she cross cancels into dust. Let's see if she managed to get any charges. Ooh, using judgment too early and making bad movements, so that does hit. Super Vulcan does get countered, so that is the full 500 damage. And let's see, ooh, Salad missing the fire ban. It's going very much in player zero's position, though a buster shot does come down to remove the anti-damage straight away. And Salad's getting the recovery 200 in hand, which will keep her alive for a bit longer. And she has the anti-nav ready, so she might be using that to try to get countered or try to set up for something. Erase man, yeah, looks like she had the anti-navi. Ooh, player 0 is using a TFC, so he might be expecting an anti-navi as well, which it looks like he was. Nice. Just playing it safe and going for the dust instead. Basal did have the recovery still, so that is keeping her still alive. Ooh, reflector, that does miss though. Very good movement from Salad being able to avoid that. And looks like Salad is starting with the machine gun, trying to remove the anti-damage. Ooh, and getting counter hit on the simultaneous machine gun. Nice. Then Judgment does land. She's chip charging Dustman, that does connect for max damage. And the flash bomb gets destroyed straight away. And ooh, she does miss the fireball. She could have waited for that to time out. And Beast Charge ends up missing as well. She gets the second recovery. This game is getting very close. All with the recovery, they're all exactly the same HP. And Solid's going for the reflector as well, trying to get all that damage down. Or she can chip charge that as well. She is keeping the grab revenge. Though player 0 is going for slash cross, ends up getting punished, even though Neovari does connect. Getting decrossed there, that was a lot of damage from getting decrossed. Ground Beast doing a lot of work there. And now Salad has the option to go for Beast over, but she is playing it safe. She is going for the number ball. We'll see if that ends up connecting. Number ball will be more than enough for game. See what player 0 still has. Ooh, player 0 going for the Beast over. The high boomer does hit, and the first one gets 3 hits into the second one, and that will be enough for game. Beast over getting almost the perfect movement and mashing out all of the chips. That was very close. Salad almost got that game. Okay, heading into game 3. Starting with the poison panels, so neither player will want to camp at the front, but looks like player 0 is still going with Charge Man, trying to get the +1 custom, prioritizing the overlanding charge shots. Let's see, ooh, missing again. Dustman panel grab doesn't do anything. I guess brings back the neutral area. Dustman will limit Salad's movement, but it gives her a safe place to hide back from charge shots. And now she does have the 2 panel grabs. Let's see what she ends up going for. So one option she might go for is using panel grabs to try to bait player 0 to block an object, and then using Element Man or Number Ball to try to get something out of that. We'll see if she ends up going with that play though. It might be risky. Ooh, looks like she might be going for that, trying to bait with the Element Man. Missing on the Erase Man, and the first panel grab does come down. Ooh, Reflector 3, so that will give Salad time to step there. And the anti-damage gets removed. Element Man Element Man coming down, but the anti-damage at the very last second, protecting from the D-Cross. See if she gets the number ball. Ooh, Poison Panel sticking down at the number ball HP. That was still good damage. That was about 200 damage coming down from Salad. Trying to close down the HP lead as much as possible from player 0. And looks like she is going for the back row object this time. Though she does have the fire hit, so she can use that to limit player 0's movement, and then maybe next turn go for beast charges or charge shots. Because she does have attack max and charge max, so that is still very much an option. Ooh, the Judgment does connect, and looks like she's deciding to not use anti-navi, which will give the area back to player 0. Ooh, a charge shot connecting for free. Anti-damage coming down, and then fanfare from Salad. Let's see if player 0 has enough time to destroy that. Though the firebrand, ooh, so that was anti-navi instead, not anti-damage. And Salad using the firebrand too early, so that ends up missing. And fanfare was destroyed at the very last second of that game. Though Salad does get both recoveries, and she has the HP to use them, which looks like that is the option she is going for. Trying to empty her hand and going for damage. Ooh, and she's going for spout, so she wants to go for a D-Cross as well. See if that does connect. Looks like players are using anti-damage, trying to avoid that D-Cross from happening. Though that could be risky because anti-damage went to the charge shot. Ooh, Neovari does connect and into Salad's anti-navi. Judgment misses, but at least she gets the area back. And I believe this is Salad's last buster up, so at this point she will be ready with the max buster bug. She's going into dust and having the machine guns ready, so this player 0 has limited movement with the cracked panels, so this could end up doing a lot of damage if all of them connect, especially and with removing traps for free. Okay, looks like player 0 is deciding to go with Elik, and he gets his own recoveries, though that Colonel will connect. So going with Dustman, limiting movement. Grab Revenge doesn't do anything, and that was the turn. Neither of them really doing much. Ooh, getting a free counter hit though, and then into Dull Thunder doing 200 damage for free. Looks like the second Boomer connects on the backswing. Solid's HP is going down. They both used recoveries, so Solid's going to have to do her best to try to get her HP to try to survive. Oh, Flash Bomb does connect, and that was chip charged, so that made it paralyze anyway, and Solid stepping under that. Ooh, counter it with the machine gun. And it looks like Solid is going into Beast Out. She has a lot of chips that Beast Out can try to go mash. Okay, so she's going to throw away the Grab Revenge, which gives her Reflector. If she managed to get a counter hit with the Reflector, that might be game. Though interesting, she's going with Bug Fix. She might be taking that to try to chip charge that to crack panels and end up confirm the other attacks. Player 0 going for Beast Out, Fanfare coming down. Ooh, Machine Gun denying Solid back B and the Buster Shot to finish off the game. And that was the match. Ooh, that was a close match. Both sides playing very well, though it was unfortunate that Salad ends up missing that Neovari and some of her chips due to lag or mistiming, which is really unfortunate. But that was still a very good game, well played to both sides. And then heading into the final game of the stream, which will be Shadow vs Symes. Okay, so this will be an interesting matchup. So Shadow isn't quite running maximum HP. He has 400 extra HP, which is about the same effective HP that Tango gives. So they're running similar HP, similar effective HP, but they both have bug build. They both are playing with summon blacks, so they have quite the similar Navicost, which with the only difference is that Shadow deciding to go for the HP Navicost, while Symes is going for Tango. Shadow does have static, so that could reduce the effective HP from Symes, removing his barrier 100 for free. But Shadow doesn't have bug fix, so that could limit the movement from Shadow and ends up playing into the matchup. The one interesting thing is that Symes does have 2 panel grabs, but Shadow can effectively break his panels to limit Symes' movement, because Symes does have the Moonblades, and although he would want to go into Slash Cross to try to get the damage through that, it is still an option that Shadow could try to go for. But in this matchup, going for the Summon Blacks will be very easy, and yet trying to go with charge shots from both sides. Although Shadow isn't running any buster ups, so Symes will have the higher damage output, and he does have charge max or charge 4, which is very close basically. So in trading charge shots, Symes will have the advantage. So we'll see if Shadow is going to try to avoid going into that, especially with Corn Fiesta. So if Symes isn't careful and goes into Electros, which does have good DPS, then he might end up being hit with the 2x with that, which, unless Shadow is very unlucky as we saw in the first game, that could be enough for game. And yeah, let's head right into the final match. Okay, so they're already starting with the cracked panel, so that makes going for the Summon Blacks even easier. Ooh, though looks like Shadow is starting with both statics and fire hit, which looks like that is the option he's going for. And he's going for charge cross, and seeing how the only thing that could decross it from Symes is Element Man, that is probably a correct play, trying to increase his custom. Though Shadow is deciding to keep the second static in hand, which is an interesting play. Symes going for Hitman, for Hit Cross. Ooh, Shadow is trying to get the counter hit with that on the charge shot, but now Symes does have anti-damage up, so and yeah, ends up missing and then eating an Am Cannon for free. Okay, looks like now, ooh, Shadow does have the second Con Fiesta, so he is going to delay. He's going to delay taking that until next turn, trying to remove the anti-damage from Symes. Looks like static does that. Amcanon does connect again, which is really impressive actually. Burn Square, and Shadow is going for the anti-damage to try to stop the 2x. And he's just camping behind the panel grab to deny the charge shot from Symes. Looks like Symes ending with another area grab with another anti-damage, so Shadow is playing it careful again and trying to remove the first before going with his PA. Ooh, nice. So it looks like Symes was waiting on the charge shot from Shadow to use his Moonblade, and again managed to connect both of them. Ooh, and getting the anti-damage at the very end, though he does lose it, which was unfortunate. And it looks like Shadow is going for Confiesta this time. See how many hits. Ooh, that's still not bad, getting almost 400 damage. And then does get the 2x. Looks like Symes is trying to break the panel, but he's actually getting unlucky by being lucky and not getting a proc with the panel breaking. So he probably had summon blacks in hand, which he's going to either throw away or go into the turn without taking more chips. Shadow is going for Beast out, so he's going for Beast Rush, though he is panel locked with the broken panels. And Symes going for Elec, so he knows he's free from Confiesta, so he doesn't have to worry about that. And Tango does activate. Ooh, nice. Shadow is able to do a lot of damage, though the summon black does connect. Let's see if second one as well. Second one is coming out. Symes is did about 520 damage just that turn. So it's still a very close game, and Symes already activated his Tango, so the HP is going to be stuck with. I believe we've seen him use recoveries as well. Ooh, looks like Shadow does have his own summon black, which he is going for, and then going for a race to chip charge the panel grabs at the end to get that confirmed damage. Panel grab coming down, though now Symes' movement is very much limited by the broken panels. Ooh, anti-damage coming, protecting him from the hit. Ah, Fanfare coming out from Shadow. Let's see, gets destroyed. Ooh, missing the first hit, and then Number Ball bringing Shadow down to 1 HP, but then Buster, the luck isn't on Symes' side. Buster procs aren't coming out, and now Shadow is going for Judgment into static, so if either of them connect, that could be enough for game. He's deciding to start with anti-damage first to play it safe. Ooh, Symes is going for Beast out, trying to get the easy Buster Shot. Recovery 200 is coming down, and then a Buster Shot finishes off. That would have been very difficult, but if Shadow was able to get the Judgment, that might have been enough damage to bring Symes to 1 HP and then game. Okay, so Shadow is starting with Raceman SP turn 1. There's no Judgment that he needs to worry about decrossing, and nice, looks like he's mashing it early. And does get the confirmed hit, so that will... Ooh, he dropped his charge to get Dustman, it looks like. Stepping at the end into the heat charge. Buster ups coming down, and then Symes ending up with the trap and Fanfare. Symes just mashing all of the chips at the very end. Let's see if that connects. Okay, so he's waiting for it to time out, which is the correct play. That does connect, and Shadow will lose his anti-damage. So usually, if Shadow was stuck in animation, then cross cancelling would have preserved that. But because the first anti-damage animation did activate, unfortunately, that won't be what happens. Ooh, Symes is going for slash cross, so might be seeing Moonblades. Ooh, counter. That didn't counter it though, but this does. Nice. And the second Moonblade come out, and anti-Navi, although that wouldn't do much. Going for ice. Symes probably wanted to go for Oleg, but ended up missing out the timing. Let's see if Symes crosses into Oleg. He stays. Grab Revenge, and TFC from Confiesta is coming down. Ooh, that was on the unlucky side from the hits, but now the panels have turned to grass, so Shadow is going to have the chance to get charges, but now he is locked in the perfect area for the slash charges. Symes decides to go for Summon Black, which was probably the correct play. That was well played from Shadow, timing out to avoid getting paralyzed. Shadow is starting with Grab Revenge, and now Symes feels safe to go into Elect Cross. Anti-damage coming down, and then the recovery. Both sides, Symes using both of his recoveries. Some black. Ooh, now Symes moved, but that ended up cracking the panel, which locked him in place. I guess the turn was long enough for the panels to be fixed and the fanfare to be destroyed. Shadow does have all three of his statics though. Let's see if he decides to go all in on static. Static can be very good to try to fish for counters as well, so it looks like he might be keeping one for the tangos barrier, since we still haven't seen that proc. And he crosses into Heat Cross, trying to get the extra +1 attack. Looks like he's mashing statics, nice, and that will remove the barrier. Let's see if he gets the +50, he does. Fortunately was in grass. Ooh, Summon Black coming from Symes, bringing them to about the same HP, 40 HP difference. And bug fix from Symes, so now he doesn't have to worry about being panel locked by his broken panels. And now Shadow is deciding to go with the second static with the machine guns, trying to burst down Symes to finish the game off. Judgman. Ooh, is that anti-navi? That was anti-damage, nice. Ooh, let's see if that does hit Shadow. It does, but that allowed him to get the confirmed position. Ooh, using machine gun too far forward, so that ended up missing all of them. And Symes knew that was anti-navi, so he opted to go for throwing that way. Unfortunately, missing ice on the element man, and then the number ball that was enough for game. Ooh, bringing down Shadow to 1 HP, though Shadow does have his recovery and he does have his Summon Black Z code, so he will go for that, trying to bring Symes down to 1 HP and trying to finish off the game. Let's see if he does manage off. He's going for Beast Out to try to get the easier buster shots. Both of them are going into Beast Out. Recovery coming down from Symes and the panel, from Shadow, and then Symes using anti-damage and panel grab. Summon Black does connect, that will proc the anti-damage. Looks like Shadow might trade anti-damage, bringing him down to 1 HP. Symes had another anti-damage, one buster shot, that was enough for game. And going into the last game of the stream, let's see who ends up getting it. Ooh, Shadow has the turn 1 PA, is he going to decide to go for that or play it safe? He is going for it. Let's see if Symes has any defense prepared turn 1. No one expects the turn 1 Fiesta. Band Squad TFC looks like he had no defense. We don't know how many hits. I guess we will see when the blind status runs out. And this time Shadow was able to get the confirmed hit by standing in the middle. Ooh, missing out all of the charge shots. Gets one at the end. That was a lot of damage, getting over 500 damage in one turn. Though Symes was expecting to take damage, took the recovery and ended up with his Judgman. We haven't seen Neovari do anything this turn. Let's see if Shadow is going to go for it this turn. Looks like he is, but he's going with Beast Out. Going Beast Out can make it more likely that double life swords ends up missing. Okay, so he's going for the safer option with recovery with the Summon Black and the panel grabs. Ooh, Element Man barely missing on the ice for the D-cross. Let's see. Okay, Shadow was able to get one broken panel at the very end there, and the first panel grab coming down. Let's see if he chip charges the second one. Cannon does connect. Okay, so the second panel grab also coming down. Symes is going to have to be careful for a back row object, though the movement from Shadow doesn't make that seem obvious. Ooh, looks like starting with the anti-Navi trying to deny Judgment. Although we've already seen Judgment, so it might be for some of the other Navis. I don't think Symes has any other Navi, so it might be chip charged. Looks like he's going for it. It also works well as a bluff. Ooh, Symes was locked in by the broken panel, and now Shadow is going to be able to mash into the statics. And getting both of them off, which removes the barrier, and getting buster shots for free. Summon Black going to have to throw that away. Burn Square, let's see if that does connect. That misses, bringing Symes down to 140 HP, and he's panel locked with no way of getting out. Okay, so it looks like Shadow is going for Machine Gun to prepare for an anti-damage instead of going for Neovari. Obviously, Neovari is one of my favorite chips, so I would say go for Neovari. Try to finish the game off with that. Okay. So he's expecting grab revenge from Symes. Ooh, Reflector at the very end, which will protect Symes and deal 200 damage. Chip charging, and that will be confirmed, bringing Symes down to 1 HP. Let's see if the Firehead finishes it off for game. And that was the match. That was the final match. That was a very close game. Well played from both Symes and Shadow. That was a very good game. Got very close at the end. I think both games end up with 1 HP at the very end. That was really hype. And everyone else, well played to everyone else. Thank you everyone for watching. So this unfortunately is the end of the stream, though make sure, so the sign-ups for next week, you can still sign up for New Moon, which will be standard BN format. To get more information about signing up for next week, use !New Moon in any of the N1GP channels, and you'll get the information. And if you have any questions, make sure to ask. People are more than happy to help. Sign up is the deadline for that is today, so make sure you bring you put in your folders by the end of today. I think it will be at 10 p.m. PST is the deadline. And shout outs to Shadow and playerzero for playing all of their matches for this week, and thanks for Shadow again for organizing and creating this format, as well as to Salad, who worked very hard on making the stream layout. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you all enjoyed the stream, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.